Okay, y'all. We doing something new. Oh, I hope it's working. Happy Tuesday. We are live. Let me make sure everything is working. Y'all, I'm using a new platform. Um, so bear with me. All right. Oh, we got one person. Okay, y'all, this is new. Look, y'all seeing this journey. Okay, so this, bear with me. Hold on. Tuesday with, I hope y'all are doing great. Please tag people to come in. Okay. Okay. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to get this right. I'm trying to make sure this is right. Y'all please share. Okay. Uh I'm gonna have it right next week. I promise. I promise y'all. I promise. Doula Talk Tuesday. Okay. We finna make it do what it do. Hello, y'all. Happy Tuesday. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are blessed. This is going to be a great conversation because I have somebody really, really new that I met through someone, and I just can't wait for this conversation again, this dialogue, because I know this is going to be impactful. She has a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge when it comes to this field, and she is doing a whole lot as far as her work in the birthing community. So again, when you hop on here, please feel free to comment. Feel free to like, share, tag a expecting mom if you know a mom that already had her baby, or even if you know someone that is thinking about having a baby. This live is for them. We are going to be sharing some helpful tips, some helpful resources, not only down here, down south in Mississippi, but also in up north in Missouri. So, without further ado, again, just I just can't wait. I just can't wait for this conversation. I am going to bring her up, Miss Kia. Hold on, y'all. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. And if you need to start sharing, you can do that. But without further ado, this is Kia. Kia is a action packed working superwoman doula. I only met her virtually through my other sister, my doula sister, Leela. And I instantly knew I wanted to have her in this space on this platform because she is really doing the thing. I can just tell, even virtually, her spirit is like right. And I just feel she's really doing the work in the community that's needed, especially in this day and time. So without further ado, Kia, please introduce yourself, say a little bit about your business, your community. Just go right ahead.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Kia. So I've been doing doula work. I started in 2022, but I started practicing last year after my training. I'm also a mom, a wife. I have 4 kids. I know I look like I'm 12, but I'm not 12. I promise you, I'm not. But I just feel like I was called into birth work, like, and it just fits. It makes sense, and I love what I do. I love what I do. I love the impact that I have. I love my moms, love the babies. This is just, it's just right for me, and I love it.
Yes, yes. So now, quick question, just to let the people know. I want to just give them the information already. Where do you service? As far as like your doula services, what state or what cities do you practice in?
So I'm in Missouri, and I would say like the county, I do see some moms in the city as well, but those areas are typically the areas that I service. And then I do take Medicaid. And then my business name is Sewing Sunshine LLC. And I take like private pay as well. But if you have Medicaid, I have agencies that I work through that I'm able to like send links for you to sign up, and then you can select me as your doula, or I can let them know, like, hey, such and such wants me as their doula, and we can get that going.
Great, great, awesome. I will be linking her information after this live is complete. But let's go ahead and get right into it with the questions. So now, when working with clients, what is the first questions or few beginner questions you encourage them to ask about preparing for birth, or what questions do you ask the clients as far as preparing for birth?
First I asked them like what type of birth do they want. That's like one of the first things that I asked them. Only because things can change, so you never know what can happen. But once they tell me what kind of they want, I definitely try my best to, honor that. So, like, if they want the lights dim in the room, we do lights dim. If they want no male physicians, then we put a sign on the door, like, no male physicians in here. Basically, try to appease the client as much as possible and give them the birth that they want. And also knowing like how many kids they've had, if this is their first baby, that's also important to know, because every birth is different, and how somebody's birth went, yours may not go that way. So just try to keep them educated in that, like, we can try to do, whatever it is that we can do to get you the birth that we want, but sometimes things don't always go, the way that we try to plan them.
Yes, and that was great. That's one thing I wanna just dive in a little deeper on. Just also allowing them, just getting them in the mindset that the birthing plan that you may have out, draw out, may not be the birthing plan that you may have. Like I always speak about my home birth. Yes, I planned for a home birth, but I thought I was gonna have the whole pool experience, the slow birth experience, and it was not like that. I was on Speedy Gonzalez, like it wasn't no rise up, rise up. It was like on 10 and level 10, then it went to level 50. Like it was
Mhm.
not no slow one. The one you see on YouTube, it was like full speed. So even I also had to think about and also come to terms with that I may not have a full home birth. I could or may have the possibility where I have to get transferred to the hospital. And that's
Mhm.
where other things that we're going to talk about come into play, that even though you may plan for a home birth, you also need to have plans, preparation on what will your hospital, if you do have to get transferred, who will that provider be? Have you toured the hospital? What's the distance from that hospital to your home? So when we talk about birth preparation, many people, the stigma, so many mothers think it's like, let me prep the bag, let me make sure we get the matching sets. No, sis, it goes deep in there because I promise I thought I was gonna have a whole nother like 5 to 7 more days to prep, and my baby came early. And that's
Okay.
also another thing you have to touch on, that your baby may come early. You may have to be bedridden. It's so many things that comes into preparation that many mothers and also like their families just don't think about, and that also impacts after baby life, after pregnancy, so that's like a whole
Mhm.
can of worms. So I'm glad that you just touched on that, just to emphasize that yes, even though you may plan your birthing plan, it may not 100% go that way, and you really have to be okay with that, because the main goal is to have a healthy baby and also, of course, a healthy mother.
Yep, that's the goal. That is the goal for sure. Yes, you said that right.
Yes. So, the next question, so how can parents decide which type of birth setting is right for them?
Um, I would say research. Do your research. Um, Hospitals, I'm just gonna be honest. Hospitals, I feel like are more for an emergency type of setting. So if you want to have like a calm, relaxing kind of birth, consider a birth center and look up like what that may look like. It's more calm. You'll have a midwife as your physician. You're able to move around. You're able to eat. Just you're able to do a lot more than what you can do when you're up on the floor. Um, and then home birth and things like that. Definitely consider having like a midwife, a doula. I know some people will free birth and things like that, but you just always want to be on the safe side. And also just look within yourself. Like, what is your personality like? How do you feel when you're in a hospital? Like, are you nervous? Are you anxious? Are you okay with like the doctors, the nurses, the people that are around you? How does that make you feel being in that setting? Because they're going to be coming in and out the room. So
Mhm.
you have to really hone in on how you feel on the inside, what feels good to you. But you can also have like a natural birth in a hospital setting. Just got to set the room up, how you want it. We could try our best to do that. Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes, that is great. Especially as far as just understanding and knowing what type of birth setting, like how I was stating earlier. I would suggest even touring it, especially when you got the opportunity, like your first trimester. No later than your second trimester, you really need to have like a key game plan, like a key draft of your birthing plan, because
Mhm.
by your third trimester, you do not want to be walking with that big old butterball trying to tour, trying to go place to place. Like you need to be just really finalizing everything. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy you touched on that. Now, this is another good question. What is the role of a birthing team, and how can someone choose the right people to support them?
The role of birthing team is basically like who is there to support you during your birth. I would say before, during, and after your birth. Um, so that would include like your physician, possibly a midwife, your partner, and then your doula, maybe a family member or two, but just people that you trust, people that you know care about you, people that you know love you and want the best for you. Um, and what was the other half of the question? Birthing team and what else?
And how can someone choose the right people to support them?
Um, Again, just thinking about how those people make you feel. Like you don't want somebody in the room with you that you're anxious or nervous around, or somebody that's putting fear into you. You want somebody that's
Yes.
going to be positive, uplifting you, making sure that your needs are met. Like if you're thirsty, somebody that's going to go fill your water cup, not somebody that's just going to be like, you thirsty, okay, and like no, no, somebody that's gonna like wait on you hand and foot so you can have the birth that you want, healthy mom, healthy baby, Somebody that's not gonna have you in there stressed, basically. So if your mom, because a lot of moms be tripping, be in there screaming and hollering, she gonna have to get out the room. Mm-mm. You can't do that. You can't do that. You need a calming presence in the room.
Yes, and that's just want to add another layer. That's where birth education come into play. So whatever team, whatever tribe, whether that's your mate, your grandma, your mom, your aunt, your BFF, the godmom, whoever you decide to have in that room with you, I will suggest if you do have a doula or if you have like birth education classes, they should come with you. So they can be equipped. They will be prepared. Once you create your birthing plan, you all need to go over it together because, again, when them contractions start contracting, some of that stuff is going to fly out the window. I said it in like one of my other lives. Like I remember my birthing list. I was like, yes, I'm gonna vlog my whole birthing section. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna play my music. I'm gonna have candles lit. Honey, I ain't care about none of that stuff. I just wanted my daughter out of me. Like
Yep, that's how it
that's
gets.
all. That's all I wanted. And even my doula, she reminded me. She was like, "You want me to start recording you?" I was like, "No." I was like, "No." Now she did get some pictures, which thank God. And now looking back, I hate that I said no, but I was in the moment. I did not want no cameras. Like it was so raw and real. So just speaking from experience, some of the things that y'all may put on y'all birthing plan, y'all birthing list, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, getting that baby out, you is not gonna care about none of it. You just want to just see the baby, hold the baby. You just really want everything to be over with because you are at your peak emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Like you are ready to get back to a new normal because you're not
Mm-hmm.
going back to your old self. You're going to a new type of normal, and you are at the peak where this baby got to get out. So I want again just moms to just really understand that yes, you can create a detailed birthing plan, but all that stuff can go out the window. But it's still important to create the plan so it can be available for you. I say anything else you want to say before we go to the next question?
No, that's perfect.
Yes.
Literally all those things.
Okay, so just speaking about birth plans, what should be included in a birth plan? And we just touched on it, and why should it be flexible?
Um, ooh, so many things can be included in a birth plan, but I would say something that's important is your GBS status. If you have
And
any
break it down,
allergies.
break down the because
Okay,
we got
okay.
some newbies.
It's
Break down the little this what it means.
Group B strep. It is basically like a bacteria that's naturally in the vagina or it's not. So around like 36 weeks, they'll do a swab and then I want to say in maybe like a week or so you'll get the results back on if it's positive or if it's negative. And if it's positive, then you will have to have antibiotics during labor before the baby's born so that the baby doesn't contract it or that it gets passed to the baby. Is very it can be very dangerous for the baby to contract GBS. So you want to know what that is before you go into labor, because you want to get all the medicine. I think it's like you get it every 4 hours or something like that. So you want to
Mhm.
make sure, like, if your water breaks, you gotta go to the hospital so they can start you on the antibiotics as soon as possible. That's really important. So that status should be on there. If you have any type of allergies, and that's like food, medicine. I have a mom right now that's allergic to the epidural, so that's like
Wow.
an absolute no no. Yeah. Allergies is important. If you know of any type of medication you're allergic to, put that on your birth plan. Let that be known. The style of pushing that you want to do. If you want to move around, if you want to walk around, I would say put that on there. And then as far as like your placenta goes, I would say put that on there and make sure you know like the hospital's policy on placentas, keeping it, not keeping it, or however they
Mhm.
do that. And also making sure that what's on your birth plan goes in your chart.
Yeah.
So after you make your birth plan, have your doctor put it in your chart, let them know what you want, how you want it to go, and have them put it in your chart so that they're not like, oh, do you have a birth plan? I don't see it in your chart. No, have them put it in there. Have them put it on there what you want, how you want it to go. It may not go how you want it to go, but at least they have it on there like this is what she wants. And that's helpful for like when they change shifts and stuff, so the nurses can know a little bit about what's going on. And like, we want it quiet in the room. We don't want more than 3 people at a time. No students, no male physicians, things like that. It's important to just keep everybody informed of what's happening in the birthing space.
Yes. Oh, your doula skills popped out when you touched on the first point, because I remember when I had to get tested for it, and it just felt like a pap smear all over again. And
Mhm.
even my midwife, she asked for it, so it just triggered my mind. Like, yeah, I had me a good midwife because she asked for it too. So yeah, things like that. And also, moms, after this I am going to well, I haven't released, but I am going to link. I do have a free labor and delivery and a birth prep checklist that you can have. Just download it. But I felt like that was very beneficial for moms to have, just to check as far as birthing, the birth plan, as far as preparation, what you need, as far as the bag, what you bring to the hospital, or even have set up at home. And then even after labor and delivery, what you should have as a mom, as far as like meal preps, things for your body so you can heal, what you should have near you as far as like with the baby. So stay tuned for that, y'all. The next question is, what are your favorite tips for preparing the body and mind for labor? I think this is going to be a good one.
Okay, so for me, I like to do like a fear clearing list with my clients. Like, I have them write down their fears, and then on one side of the paper, and then on the other side of the paper, I have them write down something to omit that fear. And I try to get them to focus more on, okay, what's the positive side of the fears that they have. um and then praying, if you're into that, I'm definitely into that, but if you're not, it's cool. But praying, affirmations are really good because some people really need those words of encouragement during labor.
Mhm.
Like, you can do this, you got this. Sometimes they need to hear that because when you're in labor, you really go into yourself,
Yes.
and that voice that you hear is going to get you through. Like, when I
Yes.
was in labor, I had a natural birth with my third child, and somebody, I don't know who it was, somebody was in my ear when I was giving birth, and I remember her voice just telling me, like, you got this, you can do this, your baby's right there. And I was like, yeah, I need that. I need that. And then exercising at
Yes.
least 30 minutes a day. Very important to be active while you're pregnant. I know it can be hard. You tired, you hot. It's summertime. We're hot.
Mhm.
But you need to be active. You need to get those muscles
Gotta
loose.
open
You
them
need to,
hips.
yeah, you need to be moving around. Yoga, if that's something that you like to do. Stretching definitely helps. And I also try to get my clients to write. And not only that, but just try to make sure that you're eating right, because that's important also. Your diet is very important. It
Yes.
can change, like, things can change quickly when you're pregnant. If you've never had diabetes, you can get gestational diabetes when you're
Yes.
pregnant. And it can be just with one baby. It can be with all babies, you never know, but your diet is definitely a big part of that. So making sure you're eating right, drinking enough water. I don't play about that water either. I let my clients know, like, did you drink your water today? Are you drinking water? What? Let me see your water bottle. What it look like? Yeah, because that's important. Like you have to feed your mind, your body, and your soul. So.
Those were some good key points. One thing I will say, in one of my birth education classes, they were like, think about like your happy place. So it's like a happy destination. So when you're going through them contractions, just close your eyes and vision you at that place. So baby, I was visioning myself at the beach, I was laying out there in the beautiful blue waters. I had to keep looking and thinking about that happy place because in hindsight, it was really helping me. It was calming me down as far as the contractions, even though they was contracting, but they were able to go by a little bit more quicker because I was just thinking about my happy place. So moms, think about the happy place. Think about somewhere that's your happy place. So when them contractions start coming, when you gotta close your eyes, you'll be able to focus on something other than the contractions. And then, of course, I love how you said just writing down. One thing I did, I want to say I found it at Ross or Marshalls. I found no, I think I maybe ordered it off of Amazon. It was a pregnancy journal. So I started at the very beginning. I recorded how I was feeling. It gave you like different prompts, how you were feeling, what you ate, your attitude, just certain things. So I have that as a little keepsake. I'm gonna give my daughter, and then also, moms, record yourself. When I look back at my videos, I'm like, girl, look at your nose. Like you was you. Like, oh my gosh, you was solid. And then just me talking, because I was younger, just like how I felt. It was kind of cringe, but it was just good to see myself, just me transitioning, even though everyone is a woman, but when you give birth, it's a life changing experience. Like you are
Mhm.
literally at that peak moment. You can go over to the other side of heaven, or you can still stay here, and you are bringing a human being to this world. It's a life changing experience. So I was glad I was able to record myself. So mamas, clear that storage out your phone, even if it's like 1 minute, 2 minutes. I was recording myself after every doctor's appointment. If I wasn't feeling it, I was going off on the doctor. I was just talking about all stuff. I was talking about my food cravings. So it's just good to have, and just again, just give back to your kids. Like your kids can watch you like, oh my gosh, look at you. You were carrying me,
Mhm.
because also another thing, like back in the day, our moms, our grandmas didn't have this luxury. I feel like we kind of sort of have a luxury when giving birth. Like some of them didn't have that, especially like in the slavery days. Like they were forced in inhumane conditions, things were not the same, they didn't have the luxury of having so much support. Sometimes it was them alone, or them
Mhm.
having a baby and is ripped from them, or they didn't have the proper care, adequate care. And that's on all women's sides. It doesn't matter what color you are. Like back then, times were different as far as what we can do now in the hospital. So I think it's very important to realize that, and also utilize your resources. Like, don't be scared to utilize the hospital resources. I know I haven't gave birth in the hospital, but I be telling my family and friends, you better use that stuff. You pay for that stuff with your insurance. You better get all your resources, all the
Mhm.
stuff they give you, whether it's the breast pump, the wipes, the diaper. If they give it to you, take it because you paying for it.
Yeah.
So just remembering things like that, I feel is just very important. And then also just lastly ending it, the affirmations. When we're going through pregnancy, our body is changing, we're looking different, we're feeling different, things may be changing in our relationship. So mamas, even if you may not be getting the affirmations from someone else, you feel it within you. So like me, when I was by myself in my apartment, I was watching YouTube. I was just having like the regular jazz instrumental music playing. I was dancing around the house. I was rubbing my belly. I was speaking life to my child, things like that. So moms, again, just because you may not have like the support or village, it doesn't matter. You can pour into yourself as well. So yeah.
Hmm. That's that.
Okay, so we almost finished. What are some comfort measures do you find most helpful during labor?
Um, my all of my clients really like the shaking the apples that I do.
Okay, explain what's shaking the apple.
So
Yes,
shaking the apples, you take the rebozo and you like mom is on all fours typically, and it's like kind of in the back area where the hips are,
I know
and you
what
just like shake like that. And every time I have a client, it doesn't matter if they're like a first time mom, if they had a baby before, this is baby number 7, number 8, 9, 10, shaking the apples, they're like, oh my God, that feels so good. Oh my God. Yeah, that's the one. And it also, when you're having contractions, it literally shakes the contraction out. So you could be having a contraction, do that for a little bit, then it's gone. It's kind of speeds up labor sometimes
yes. I
when you
remember I remember that because your terminology is cute, shaking the apples. I forgot what they call it, but we did that as well. And when my daughter's dad, he did it, I ain't like how he was doing it, so I told the doula, I was like, you gotta. And then even when it came to like the one you rub the back, because I was having front and back contractions.
like put
Sometimes,
acupressure on your
yeah,
back.
sometimes the men pressure was too hard. I had to tell my dude, you get back, you know. So those measures, but they do work exactly like what you said. And then also the shaking the apples, it will wake up that baby gonna be probably, like, hold on now, what's going on? I guess I need to come on, evacuate about this
Hmm.
so that's so good. Even when it comes to labor at the hospital, what comfort measures you found were beneficial to the mom?
Um, I would say music, dancing, doing lunges, hip squeezing, anything that's like shaking the pelvis seems to
Yeah.
really help with that pain that moms feel.
Yes.
Um, and then that pressure. So like back, if you're having back pressure, just pushing on it or like rubbing it. I'm gonna start using a massage gun because I think that will help.
Mm.
And then I want to get like some spiky balls also for moms to hold.
Oh,
I
yes.
have this little like roller,
Yeah.
combs. Sometimes people like those, sometimes people don't, but it's supposed to like take your mind off the pain, put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So like your hand instead of wherever it's at. Um, Shaking the apples is number one though. That's
Look, we gotta go back to shaking the
That's
apples.
the top. That's number one. Once you feel it, you're like, oh,
Yes.
do that again.
Yes.
Do that again. Do that
Yes.
again.
Yes. And I'm a living witness. it
Yeah.
is it's really a game changer, seriously. Now our final question. Why is not only birth planning but postpartum planning just as is important, and what support should be in place?
Postpartum planning is also important because I would say postpartum depression is like at an all-time high, and then that support during pregnancy can look different after baby's born,
Yes.
especially for mom. Like a lot of times people just come over, they want to hold the baby, and nobody's asking mom like if she ate, did she drink any water, did you go to the bathroom, did you take a shower today. So really just honing in on mom and like what she needs at the moment. We know baby's taken care of. If baby's not taken care of, that's another story. Then, step in and do all that. But a lot of the time moms need that extra love and stuff after they have the baby. So having a postpartum plan in action could be helpful. So that could look like meal planning, meal prep, meal trains, basically like having people make meals for you before you give birth. So when you're about maybe 8 months, you can
Yeah,
start having people make some stuff you can put in the freezer or deep freezer so you don't have to cook. You know, if you have a C-section, you don't want to be up walking around. Just pop something in the microwave, in the oven, so you don't have to do too much because you need to be resting and relaxing after you have a baby, not trying to do too much. um and then housekeeping, you know, who's going to take care of the chores, who's going to handle all that. Laundry can be daunting. So
yes,
basically focusing on like what tasks can people help you with that you either normally do or like that you feel are too much after you have a baby, because you shouldn't be doing too much
yes,
and nothing.
yes, yes. You are so point with the meal prep. Girl, I started meal prepping the week before. Again, remind you, I thought I was gonna have 2 weeks, but that 1 week of food I did, shoot, I ate this stuff in like 3 days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cause
You
I
gotta
was
be careful.
breastfeeding, and I was just like what you said. I didn't have the time to cook. I was popping that stuff in the microwave before you know it, it was gone. So
Mhm.
again, like what she said, don't wait to the last minute to prep. Start prepping in advance. And then also, just like the key plug, sometimes don't wait until your baby shower to get the stuff that you need.
Mhm.
Like, get it now, because unfortunately in this day and hour, like, I wish we can all say collectively we can count on our tribe, our family and friends. Sometimes that's not the case. So you don't want to wait the last minute thinking so and so go get this and that, and nobody didn't purchase anything from your registry, or they purchased something but you literally told them to get something and they got the opposite.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so just make sure, again, also I always want to love, I want to throw in the dad, make sure you and dad are in one accord. If dad is not in the picture, just make sure you and whoever is your village and tribe is on one accord to make sure you are prepped with the essentials, and again, make sure you are prepped emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. You need to be in the right mindset because, honey, the labor and delivery can be a beast. You don't
Yes.
know, just going back from the beginning, you don't know what your birthing will be like. But the key thing is to just be mentally ready and be mentally okay with what's to come. So
Mhm.
this was great. Any final sayings, anything you want to say, last words to mamas, expecting mamas, women who are thinking about getting pregnant, trying, just any final words.
Um, I would say first, congratulations, and then if you need a doula, get at me.
Yeah.
But no, birth is definitely 80% mental and then 20% physical. So I feel like a lot of moms ultimately are like, I want a natural birth, I want a natural birth. You have to prepare your mind for that. It's
Hmm.
not like I want a natural birth, so I'm gonna just go to the hospital and not get any medicine. No, you need to sit down, write that, like you really need to go inside yourself and
Yes.
think about why you want this, how you want it to go. You have to train your mind and you have to train your body as well for something like that. It is possible, but you have to be prepared for it, which is also, birth preparation. That's where we're at right now. You have to be prepared for
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
Because if you're not prepared, you're going to tense up, you're going to be scared, and then you're going to be like, okay, I want the epidural. But if you don't want to do that, you have to prepare
Yes.
yourself. Mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit, all that. It's got to be ready because it's not no joke. It's not a joke. I did it natural.
Yes.
I know what it's like. But I think that's it. I don't know.
Yes, that was great. And one last thing, because I always want to add something. I'm so glad you just touched on. Once, if you start thinking mentally, it start going wrong, your body will tense up. You could have been had a full thing, but the moment you start, everything can go like you can.
Mm-hmm.
You may be on ready to pop, but some went wrong. You thought wrong. Some just ain't get right. Now you back to square three. So it's very important. It's mentally, just being there mentally. We can't stress this enough. Even if you can't fully complete have your birthing plan, if you are okay mentally, just mentally sane, mentally ready, like okay, let's take a deep breath. Let's
Mm-hmm.
knock this out the park. I'm calm, cool, collected. That is so much better than having this big old birthing plan. And you get to this hospital, or you at this birthing center, or you at home, and you hooping, hollering, screaming, crying, kicking, fussing, tensing up. No, I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
We need a stress free, relaxed mama
Mm-hmm.
to have the best, to put you in the best predicament as far as when it's coming to your birth. And the ultimate goal is to have a healthy baby. So I'm so glad that you joined for this Doula Talk Tuesday. We will have a part two later on. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Because I really want to get to the nitty gritty of your birthing experiences, because you have so many under your belt now. But please share again your handles, what social media platforms you are on. Again, are you accepting new clients? Just share your information.
Okay, so my Facebook is LaKeya. My Instagram for my business is Sewing Sunshine LLC. And then I have a TikTok is LaKeya. I am accepting new clients. What's this month? It's August. I'm accepting end of September, November, December clients. So if you're due in those months, I'm open. I'm open in those months. And then of course next year. Next year's open.
I might say,
So
come on, 2026.
yes, I'm trying to be full for next year. I think I do have one in January. I think I do. But yes, so you guys can follow me. I try to post when I'm able to, but yeah, follow my handles and everything. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out. I think my information's in my Instagram. Like my email and everything is in there. But other than that, thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. And I'm gonna plug in after this live in. I'm gonna plug in all of her handles so you all can easily access her. Again, it was a pleasure having you on here. Thank you for giving your knowledge, your expertise when it comes to doula work. Just to let you know, you are appreciated. I'm seeing the work, and honey, I'm all the way down here in Mississippi, and I see you doing it. Um, I love doing this now. So yes, girl, you doing it. So
Thank you.
on that note, please stay tuned. We are back. This is a good way to just pop back out a new platform, a new guest. Stay tuned. We have some more amazing doula workers, more amazing conversations that's on the way. So talk to you all soon.
Thank you. Bye.